God bless everyone. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Praise you above all. Thank you for the former prophets and apostles and our modern day apostles and those that labor alongside them in the gospel. I thank you, Lord, for keeping this church strong through all of the haters that come against it. Lord, I'd like to thank you, Lord, for waking me another day, keeping me safe on these roads by going and coming in. I like to pray for especially my brother. And right now, pray for everyone that may be struggling for something on their job or their personal life or whatever they may be going through. I pray that the Lord continues to strengthen them and keep them. With that being said, God bless everyone. So another open discussion. So I kind of mentioned in my prayer about my brother to find out that he doesn't have long to live. So I'll continue to pray for him. Pray that the Lord will be done in his life. Uh, and of course I don't have the time to be able to take care of my brother like I did my mother and father before they passed away. So that responsibility has been passed on to my younger brother. So kind of heard most of the message. I'm gonna go back and listen to it again, but I got the gist of it as far as being another true man of God and pertaining what you're being told, stuff like that. A lot of times, people tend to forget, as these are lessons that are preached by the man of God, by the Spirit of God. So that's why I take time when it comes to the scriptures and stuff like that. That I pray that the Lord continues to keep me where I don't mishandle them, and any mistakes that I repent for those. But yeah, I think more the thing was I see a lot of the stuff that's going on with the Trump administration. Some stuff I agree with, some stuff I disagree with. I think the biggest problem that most people have when it comes to Trump is they won't allow the man to do the job without criticizing. I can honestly say that this is the only president I know in all of the president has been criticized and mocked and disrespected more than any other president that's been in office. Now, do I think he's a man of God? Not at all. Do I think he's doing right by the country? I do. I think the problem is we're so used to presidents failing to when it's a president that's actually getting stuff done, they don't know how to accept it. All they can do is criticize. Yeah, you know, he's not my spiritual leader. He's not my overseer, but he is who God put in office. Now, do I agree with everything he does? No, not at all. I think the problem is with all of the stuff that's going on in the economy and stuff like that. We got to remember that the economy was bad when Obama was in office. The economy was bad when Junior Bush was in office, and so nobody tried to fix anything. What they did was pass the buck on to the next president in the office. And then, even after Trump got in office the first time and Biden got in there, he made things worse. Not only did he make things worse with taxes, but he made things worse in the country by allowing all of those people in with no clear view as to what to do once you get the people into the country. Now, I get it about people coming here illegal and stuff like that, searching for something better. I get all of that, but the problem is when you let in that many people, how many people are you letting in that don't have good intentions? Like, you let 10 million people into this country. You let 10 million people into this country legally. You're going to get a lot of unsavory people that come into this country. People that commit all kind of crimes and this and that. And I'm not saying all that came that way were criminals. I think the biggest problem is we criticize America for what they do, but not other countries for them doing the same exact thing that America does. I don't hear anybody talking about what Mexico does, what Cuba does, what Jamaica does, what Africa does, what England does, what the Ukraine does, what Russia does. They won't allow you into you can't sneak into that country like they do here in America. You can't do that. There are people that's getting executed for doing that, sneaking into the country. And people think just because here's the thing: the people in other countries don't get criticized for not wanting illegal immigrants in their country, but in America, you get criticized for the same thing that they're doing. That's kind of strange to me. But what's even weirder for me when it comes to that is how people protest in a country that they claim is the worst country in the world. Makes no sense to me. If the country is so bad, and I'll be honest, if this country is so bad, then my advice was to go back to where it's better for you. The people that come here that assimilate and become part of America and stuff like that, I'm all for it. Whether illegal or immigrant or not, I'm all for that. Because a country that has all discourse from one end of the country to the other, it can't function. It can only fall. I watch how China treats their citizens. I watch how Korea treats their citizens. I watch how Israel treats their citizens. All over the country, you see it. We see how they treat their citizens. That's the reason why they come here to America. I think my biggest problem with people that come here illegally is they're cutting in line of people that's already in line to become a citizen. People talk about. Well, I'm gonna kind of move on from that. But I was thinking about how people complained about these tariffs and stuff like that. What all these big companies don't tell you is those tariffs actually don't affect them, but they want a reason to raise prices on stuff that people purchase. These are billion-dollar companies complaining about paying tariffs because they done got in bed with other countries instead of working out things in America. For the things that we couldn't get in America, I get. But it's a lot of stuff that can be produced here that they didn't have to outsource. It was to make a dollar. I remember when I was I think between 8 and 10 years old, and they had a company called RCA. RCA decided that they wanted cheaper labor for the production of the parts that they were selling. So what they did was they moved RCA to Mexico, and a lot of people lost their job. My mother being one of them. When they got to Mexico, they absolutely went out of business. RCA went out of business, and they became in name alone. They were still selling parts. What was it? I can't remember the name of the electronics store. Radio Shack. Yeah. When that happened, when RCA took that company to when RCA took that company to Mexico and outsourced those parts and tried to come back and sell them back into America, companies like that went out of business. You had companies like Circuit City, or like I said, Radio Shack first, it went out of business. Then you had Circuit City and Best Buy. Best Buy didn't outsource the stuff that they had. They just bought the stuff from other companies, from other countries, because that's where the stuff was being produced at. And it was an electronic thing. That's like Circuit City didn't last long enough because they still had some of the older values with it. And that's the problem. A lot of these companies that outsourced a lot of stuff, they don't realize, like car companies, electronic companies, food companies, meat companies, all of this stuff, when they outsource that stuff, they take jobs away from America and give it to other countries. And other countries profit off of us by purchasing that stuff. So I agree with other countries being taxed for bringing their goods into America. And a lot of them don't tell them that they rather pay that price to keep it. They're still making money regardless. They acting like they losing something, but they're not. They don't stay billion-dollar companies and they going broke. That don't make any sense. I mean, look at Amazon. Amazon outsourced a lot of stuff from other countries. You just got to really just think about how, if you allow, like, these companies shouldn't be allowed to put people out of work and move to another country and still make a profit in America. I don't agree with that at all. I don't care if it is for capitalism. I don't agree with that. I believe that if you lived in America, if your country was established, if your business was established in America, and that's where you first started making money at, where you became a billion-dollar company, I believe you owe back a lot instead of running to another country just for cheaper labor. No, I don't agree with that. I think the problem is if you're going to go to another country, then establish that business elsewhere in that other country and leave the other business here in America. To me, it would make more sense to have it there, and what other country that you're in, that you process the same thing there. Where if people wanted foreign parts for a different price, they could do that, but you're still producing the same material in America, especially where you started at. I've never understood why they never done stuff like that. People argue against capitalism, but in the same sense want a paycheck. Now, socialists don't want you to have a job. They want you to be taken care of. They don't want you to own property or anything like that. And it's crazy. Like me, I would never want to live like that. They got free healthcare in Canada, but the country is suffering so bad that a lot of people don't get the operations that they come to America to get operations that's not provided in Canada. They got the same doctors and all of that there, but they still come to America for certain operations because I guess the doctors there are because of they're worried about being sued because it's free healthcare, so they come here for operations. That's the reason why, like, you hear about these people that order these different medicines and stuff like that from other countries, and different things happen to them because they didn't want to pay the price for the medication here. So the idea for healthcare and medicine should be like it used to be. And I never knew this, right? Guy was talking about this. I was listening, and I never knew this, right? Like, doctors before had to earn your business. Like, if it was a doctor that was going to be over the hospital of a state or a town, he had to earn these people's business. And what he did was he provided health care for what people needed, and they paid him, right? The government didn't pay him. He didn't have the insurance companies paying him, or he didn't have a slew of CEOs and stuff like that paying them like they do now. In America, and the doctors fight tooth and nail to make sure that they never have to go back to that. All of this money that these doctors get paid now, they wasn't getting paid that then, and they were still doing the same surgeries that they're doing now. The only difference is now the government protects doctors and make sure that they make all kind of money, and and protect them, like if they malpractices or they got some kind of problem, and they're still trying to do operations and this and that or whatever they charge. Like they did a lot of the surgeries that we see now that cost as much money as they did for way less than that, because they had to earn the right to be able to do those surgeries. Like those doctors, that's why it wasn't a lot of it wasn't a lot of doctors then, like it is now. It wasn't a doctor at every corner, because not every doctor earned the right to work in that community. And I never knew that. Like insurance companies, they were very minimal, and they had to compete for your business. Hospitals, insurance companies had to compete for your business. But what happens is, you fast forward to the time of RBJ, and when you get RBJ, you get Section 8 public. And one time, public housing was actually a good thing, and it wasn't a permanent thing. Like women that maybe their husband left them with the kids or something like that, and that wasn't always the case. And so what they did was they started extending the time that people could be on Section 8 or food stamps or this or that. RBJ and Martin Luther King and many other Jesse Jackson and a lot of the other black leaders, they went forward to destroy the family. And when RBJ came along with that, Martin Luther King and all that came along with that stuff and started getting to the point where they started pushing to get the father out of the home, to make the government become the daddy, the daddy that raises the kids. You had then you started getting the crazy wedlock birth rates, venereal diseases, a lot more people going to prison for committing crimes and stuff like that. You know, we ignored that. You know, single parent homes, venereal diseases, unwed pregnancy, abortions, a lot of venereal diseases. And by the 80s, and AIDS was happening, but it wasn't happening as rampant as it did by the time you got to the late 70s, early 80s, and into the 90s, right? And they tried to blame it on the drug use. No, that was just a lot of those Skittles and stuff like that. That was the cause of that. First, they tried to say it came from monkeys. It didn't make any sense with the nonsense. And and people was believing this stuff. Like they was making movies convincing people that this is how people got AIDS and stuff like that. Not that lifestyle, people in that lifestyle was dying from it. And a lot of them did. And then you get to the late 70s, early 80s, and the how and you know it's a strange thing, right? After blacks were able to be able to buy land, vote, so forth and so on, like 1870 and early 1900s, when they were able to vote and stuff like that. And here's the thing: a lot of black people don't know this, that before Democrats, blacks always voted Republican. Like uh, who was that? During Abraham Lincoln's time, the blacks then they voted because Abraham Lincoln was conservative. Even Martin Luther King was. Martin Luther King wasn't a Democrat. He was a Republican. And so they try to tell you that it switched and it didn't. And I mean, if I could vote, I would vote Republican. But here's the thing, I look at it like this, right? Um, Blacks, and I'm just talking about black people. And not that I have a problem with white people. I'm just saying I'm just talking about black people. Black people had businesses. Black people had their own Wall Street. Black people had thriving communities. Doing it. Here's the thing, like lately, I've been watching these different little things when they talk about these different what certain slaves did, people that were ex-slaves did, and how they grew how they had businesses and stuff like that. It was one story of a guy that I'll remember his name in a minute, Josiah something. Well, what happened was it was 300 Klansmen that came to his property to take it from him, and they thought that he was just some old average. Thought he was just an average. Thought he was just one average black man. Didn't know that he was an ex-sniper, ex-military, and this and that, or whatever. It was crazy because he killed 295 Klansmen in one night. Well, unalive. But different stories about what happened and things like that. I thought it was real interesting just to see these things. Had another one that I seen that a guy, young guy, about 20 years old, can't remember his name, but I don't watch so many of them. Well, he was like 20. I'll remember his name eventually. He escaped from slavery. And he escaped from slavery. He started to live up in the mountain, and they were hunting for him for like years, and they kept raising the bounty on him. And he didn't kill anybody, but they couldn't catch him. They never caught him. It's just interesting to see. Like you had what is his name? But I'm saying this to say that a lot of the people that became politicians and stuff like that, black Republicans, they were nobody in the Democratic Party would have allowed anybody black into it. Now, the thing about it is the Republican Party was made up of black, whites, and other nationalities. And the weird part about it is most of the people that's not from this country don't even take time to look at the history of the Democratic Party. They've never did anything for blacks in all of the years. I can't think of a time, not even up until now. Now, do I think and I'll go back to what I just said, that I think that the Republican Party is a party that would give me a right to be able to vote? No. Even if it was the Democratic Party and they were right, I couldn't vote for them. But I do understand one thing. I know that nobody can tell me anything that the Democratic Party has ever did for minorities in general. Nobody. And then we look at what Trump is trying to do to at least try to get us out of debt. And all of the other ones, all they did was talk and no proof of anything that was going to help us at all. Now, when I say that, I'm not just talking about. I'm talking about everyone in this country. And you know what? It's gonna be crazy that if everything turns in 2027 and the economy starts to look different, I'm just gonna say I told you so. And the way that it's looking, I do believe by this time next year, our taxes are gonna look better. Bills and all of this stuff that we had, the tariffs will be done, did what it's supposed to do. I do believe that. And not that I got faith in it, I just see it, right? Most of the time, people that's critical of it don't take time to actually research what they're looking at. They just take other people's words about it. And the thing about it is what people fail to understand is the tariffs that Trump put in office, put in place before he left office, stayed in place the whole time that Biden was in office, and Biden never said anything about it. But because Trump decided to raise them so that they could do a little bit more than what they were doing, everybody got critical of it. That is a strange thing to me. That's like the Epstein's file. The Democrats had that. Obama had it. The Clintons had it. All of them had them files on Epstein. They didn't just all of a sudden show up. Those files have been around. But all of a sudden they want to say, oh, well, Trump got to release it. But I don't hear nobody talking about what Biden should have released it. And Biden had the same file that Trump had. Everybody want to turn a deaf ear to that. And then come to find out all of the weirdos that's in those files. Everybody that did all that talking, now all of a sudden they kind of downplay it now because their names is popping up in it. That's a strange thing to me. But like I said, again, I don't believe he's a Christian. He's not my overseer. But again, I don't understand why people won't let this man do his job. They stay critical of him. They keep having something to say about him every chance that they get. And then he goes over here and he frees Venezuela and tries him for that. He tries to bring peace between Israel and the Palestinians, but yet still they criticize him for that. He slowly was negotiating the Ukraine war in Russia, but people criticize him for that. Biden did none of that. And I didn't hear anybody talking about him not doing that. It's a strange thing to me that you criticize somebody for trying to do the right thing. But I'm used to that too. I do the right thing and people will criticize me. But I'm like, I would have to actually honestly say, I would have to be like Trump, just let it roll on. Like water off the back of a duck. You got to. Because no matter what you do, if you do the right thing, they're not going to like you. If you do the wrong thing, they're going to dislike you. So you lose or you really lose. Either way. And then they want to criticize the people that give support to the things that he's doing right. When he's wrong, I literally say stuff about him. Like, I didn't like that. I didn't like this. I didn't like that. But if all you can do is be critical, you can't see the stuff that's being done. That's the problem. And if you don't understand capitalism, you wouldn't understand what he's doing anyway. All you're doing is just looking at numbers and hearing what somebody's saying, but not doing your research on it. And a lot of times people will do that. You got people like Thomas Sowell that would tell you what he's doing is going to be beneficial for the economy. But you get people with what? The Antichrist? No. For one, one thing I do know by reading the Bible is the Antichrist don't come from America. Antichrist don't come from America. So I don't, not one bit do I even think that Trump is going to be anything to do with the Antichrist at all. And the problem is we're trying to put oh yeah, and greetings, Brother Ward. So, nor do I think. No, I don't think that he'll usher anything that has to do with the Antichrist at all. I don't get it. I wouldn't give that man that much credit. That never even crossed my mind. When they said that about Obama, it didn't even cross my mind. Because number one, the Bible's clear that he's not going to come from America. America's not even in the Bible. So no, he's not going to be the Antichrist at all. Greetings, Brother Jeremy.
Greetings, Brother Ham and everybody.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so people continue to criticize him and say this and that about him, and it's a strange thing to see when people are talking about somebody trying to do the right thing. I never said the man was a Christian, but what I said was he's trying to do the right thing as far as the country is concerned. I'm not looking for him to preach a message to me or anything like that, you know. And here's the thing: he's done stuff, even if they're not the people that believe like we believe or anything like that. He still tried to do things for Christians, even if some of them are so-called. He still tried to. But I can guarantee you this: Obama didn't. Obama said he was a Christian and turned around and did everything he could to promote that Skittle community. Plus, did everything he could to destroy the nuclear family. That's what people fail to understand. Obama did not want it to be a nuclear family. All he did was show that he was married, but he did nothing to keep the family together. And I ain't just talking about blacks, I'm saying just in general. So, but yeah. But that's the problem. Like people being critical of a man that's actually trying to do the job that other men that's been in office have. I don't care. Listen, we can start at Kennedy on down. None of them have done what Trump has done. Even if I go further than that, none of them have done what Trump has done. Not a one. And nobody can say that nobody can name a president that has done as much as he done. The man has wrote over 200 something. Well, somebody wrote about that many things, but he's not done yet. But the dude has did over 200 and something bills since he's been in office. So if he didn't care about the country, why is he doing that?
Brother Ham, what I've noticed is people want things done their individual way all the time. They don't understand what it takes. They don't understand what it looks like. They're so used to epic failure and nothing being done that they don't know what it looks like. Like, I don't understand why people don't know that his job is to take care of the American people. It's not to take care of the world.
That's his right. Job, but he does it anyway.
We are okay. It's his job. People need to get this notion that it's the president of the United States' job to save the world. It's not. It never has been.
Not at all.
And it never will be. His job is to take care of the citizens within the border in which he runs. Now, if you are doing better, now not everybody's going to do better. They think that everybody did better under. No. People did terrible under Obama. People did terrible under Joe Biden. People did terrible under George W. Bush. People did terrible under Bill Clinton. People did terrible under Bush Sr. People did terrible. You have to realize that
under Reagan too. Under Reagan, let's not forget him and Bush Sr. and what's his name? Nixon, Kennedy.
Nixon was awful.
So he may have been a good president, but they didn't care about the economy.
Kennedy didn't even have nearly enough time. He was unalived quickly.
True. Yeah, but that's the thing though. They all of those presidents before I don't care what anybody say, before Trump did not care about the economy. They kept passing the buck on and on.
This is the thing. When it comes to people doing better, you have to put them in position to do better. And how you do that is give them the ability to work, not let them be dependent. People don't understand that Democrats want you dependent on the government, which does nothing but put
That's
you
true.
in poverty. They put you in poverty.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want free meals, 3 hots in a cot, but you don't want. Here's the thing: everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Under the Democratic regime and the socialist regime, you could throw that
With
dream
no
out the window.
skills.
You can throw
With
that
no
dream out.
skills.
Yes, but there will be no entrepreneurs because the government will run all of it and have control of everything. Imagine you're a doctor saving lives and they tell you make the same as a trash guy. Those two jobs are not even remotely close in difficulty. Not even close.
That's true. Yeah.
You just can't. You need to have, even in the scriptures, you were paid according to what you did. Even in the
you know what? I will. Just real quick, brother John. You right. You know what? I actually agree with you about that, Jackie McCall. You are absolutely correct about that. You see what he said, brother John.
You can't.
He's absolutely correct about that.
They have to work together, of course. Of course, they have to work together. There's no maybe so about it. I agree. I agree with that. But here's the thing: the problem is people can't disagree.
Yeah. But see. All right. So Jackie McCall, you're wrong about that. They did want them. Okay. You agree? Do you agree that RBJ was a Democrat?
I think it's LBJ.
I'm asking you that question, Jackie McCall. Yeah, LBJ. I don't know why I say RBJ.
LBJ.
Apologies, y'all. I was saying it wrong. But yeah, you got to remember that was introduced by the Democratic Party to destroy the family.
Correct.
It wasn't done by Republicans. And LBJ was not a Republican; he was a Democrat.
So,
and what was the other? What was her name? What was her name? The one that started Planned Parenthood. Trying to think of her name. Madam, is it Madam Albright? Oh, Albright. Madam, something like that. Dang. Hold on. I'm going to look this up. I can't just.
So we need to look at facts. We need to look at facts, Jackie McCall. What actually has he done worse? Show me. You got to give me facts. I mean, I hear a lot of word salads. Factually, what he's doing is better for the United States people. He wants to keep the people safe. He wants to put money in their pockets. He wants them employed. That's good. All of his bills, able-bodied workers, is getting rid of the people who are using the system. All the fraud that's being involved in minutes, that's theft. Billions of dollars of theft.
Yeah, you know what, Jackie McCall? I agree. They are all liars. But we're talking about what they've done to try to help the economy. I'll agree with you about that. But I'm simply saying that LBJ was the one that really tried to destroy the nuclear family.
So here's the thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You have to look at the facts of what is attempting to be done. Has it all been done yet? No, yeah. It hasn't. But what's being attempted is he wants to get rid of the illegals, not the legals, the illegals. He wants to get rid of the fraud in the system, which is sucking the money and stealing from the United States people, which is billions of dollars. He wants to have people working, not relying on the government. That way, the less you rely on the government, the more prosperous people become. Because the more people rely on the government, the more taxes come. People don't understand. Look at New York City as a prime example. Chicago is a prime example. This guy promised free healthcare, free service of everything, and what has he done? He's upped the taxes because he's got into office and it's like, yeah, no, I'm just going to tax you all to death. So, I mean,
yeah, yes. See, Jackie McCall, I'm gonna lead the conversation along with you because you just showed that you're gonna be biased about it. You're not gonna look at it. You're not gonna look at it with fair eyes. You're gonna look at it from a biased point of view, and that's kind of a pointless conversation right there. But hey, let me say this real quick. Brother Jeremy. It was Margaret Sanger, and she was married to a Ku Klux Klansman.
Yes.
This is an open conversation right now. We just talking about we talking politics right now. And greetings, Nathan, and
Greetings to everybody
greetings,
else.
staying in prayer.
So you have to give facts because that's not factually accurate, Jackie. You have to give facts.
Yeah. Well, actually, you can't say that Trump hasn't done anything. The proof's in the pudding. And here's the thing: most people complain about capitalism, but don't complain about getting a paycheck, because those are both capitalism. From the CEO all the way down to the McDonald's worker.
You know what happens when you tax the rich? They just move to another state. They've proven it over and over and over again. All the millionaires and billionaires, after they raised the taxes, left New York City. A good 60% have already left New York City. They're leaving Boston. They're going to New Hampshire. They're leaving Chicago. The Chicago Bears are leaving Chicago because of the taxes. Rich people are just going to get up and move to states like Texas and Florida. And then what's going to happen is what's exactly happening now, that property taxes are raised on the people who own business, who own homes. And when that property tax goes to people who own homes, the rent goes up, which makes it more unaffordable. So what they're doing does not make sense. It's factually wrong. That's factually wrong.
Yeah, but I was saying to Jackie McCall, you keep like I'm saying, I can't really talk to you about politics because you don't know where to come from. If all you can do is criticize the man that's trying to fix this country, there's nothing I can really say to you.
Hold on.
I've already made clear that because it's criticism. It's criticism from a biased.
No, Ham.
I wouldn't waste my time with that.
Same breath. Maxine Waters, what did she say to the people? What did Maxine Waters say? She told
she wasn't the only one that said that.
Against all of the government who disagreed with them. She told them literally word for word, rise up against your government. AOC did the same thing. They all said the same thing. Trump didn't say rise up against your government.
Yeah. And stay in prayer. Yeah, stay in prayer. You very well could be right, but if they keep Mandami in office and the rest of them, that country's gonna fall, bro. I deliver to New York, man, at least once a week, and it looks way worse than before. It looks way worse than it was down bad.
You ready? New York City occupancy ratings for commercial buildings has plummeted. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's true. You are absolutely correct.
In Chicago plummeted. Commercial buildings in Boston plummeted. Because
you can't continue to
they leave.
Yeah, you can't continue. Yeah, you can't continue to raise taxes. That's like Chicago. Chicago's losing the Bears. That tells you what happens. Do you realize that we're going to have 2 football teams here, Brother Jeremy?
Yes, I do.
Ain't that crazy? Like, we're going to have 2 football teams here because they overtaxed, because they was trying to get the money from the people to build the stadium, and nobody wanted to pay for that. And you can't argue with that.
So the fact of the matter is these states and cities that are run by Democratic have gone to extreme poverties. Chicago is a hot mess. New York has garbage all over the place. And then the mayor asked, Mamdani said you have to prove that you have to have identification to be a snow shoveler, but he's crying about voter ID.
No, it ain't got nothing to do with the rich staying prayer. That's not true. That's not true. You cannot say that.
That's so false. That's so false.
That you can't blame the rich for that, because here's the problem with what you just said. The rich pay more taxes than the poor do.
Correct. No, she did tell them to get up, and neither did Trump. Didn't say anything about rising up in that manner. So if you're gonna, what's good for the goose is
yeah.
He's so biased.
I told you, Jeremy. That's why I try to tell you it's a pointless comment. I'm not responding to it because he's only looking at CNN cut videos and MSNBC and Good Morning America and all that stuff like that. He's not looking at the actual footage of what was said. And as a matter of fact, when they brought that up. And when they brought that up in the hearing that they had in the Senate, they got caught lying. That's the reason why you don't hear much about January 6th anymore, because it was a fake prosecution.
Did you see the video where that guy walked right past security and they let him in?
Yeah.
So it was definitely set up. Definitely set up. And that's not the first nor the last time.
Yeah, but just think. Oh, okay, so let me ask you to stand in prayer. All right, raise the taxes on the place that you're working at, right? And it's a Fortune 500 company with we say 150 to 200 employees. Now, the taxes got to. Okay, so now you don't get raises because they're raising taxes on that Fortune 500. He hasn't got rid of you, but he's not giving you a raise as long as the taxes are being raised. So how do you explain that?
Why do you think companies are leaving California? What you need to do is this. What you need to do is you need to allow people.
How do you fix what, Jackie McCall? Go ahead, Brother Jeremy.
So how you fix the issue is you stop overbearing. It's a proven fact, and this is factual. And if you go back into history, in the early
smaller government,
in the early 1900s, when the government taxed the rich less, there was more tax revenue that was produced than when they taxed the rich.
Better pay for people.
What happens is it naturally stimulates the tax growth because they're able to do more business. The more business you're able to do, the more people you can employ. The more people you can employ, the more taxes are generated over long periods of time. You need to stop trying to go to this default.
Yeah, hold on real quick. Jackie McCall, the reason is because I can't name a time when they've done anything for the economy. There's not one time anybody can name when the Democrats have done anything for our economy. No. Wait a minute. Maybe you misunderstood what I was saying. Standing prayer. Okay, see right here. You said. Hold on. I'm disbound. Can you read that again for me, Brother Jeremy?
The CEOs are still getting bonuses whether I get a raise or not. No attention to support where it's needed. So here's the thing. Do you know how much money goes into the funding for schooling? There's billions of dollars that's given to school systems. Billions. Now what they do Hold on
real quick though, Brother Jeremy. To the point that I was making to him, because I wanted him to answer that. That's why I was asking that. So I said this. I said, so if they overtax the company that you're working at, you don't get a raise. The CEOs are still drumming up businesses. The ones that's up in upper management are drumming up business. You're providing that service for the inside of the business. So now the person that's bringing in the business will get the raise. You're providing a service. Like for instance, if you're a janitor, or if you're entry level, or if you're someone that does human resource or anything like that, that's different. But CEOs actually bring in the business because they're making deals with other companies.
Correct. Correct.
But
So
anybody below those, I used to not like that, but it's an actual factual thing. If it was you, you would do the same thing if it was your company.
this is the thing. People don't understand how business works. They don't understand. All right. Now, take you want to complain about funds not being put where they need to be. Did you look at what the governor of Baltimore spent on a vehicle? Did you look to see what Mayor Wu gave
Or
herself?
the one in Chicago did.
Gave herself a bonus to $250,000 a year. The fire chief of Boston makes what is it, $465,000 a year. That's where the waste is.
For what? For
That's
what?
what they make.
No, I'm just saying. For what though?
But that they give themselves raises. The politicians are the one taking the raises, and people fail to realize it. The politicians are the ones that are taking your money. You're blaming the businesses, but it's the politicians that are taking the money. Go and do your research.
Yes, sir.
Do your research.
Li-
All of the politicians
I
are
don't
getting
put-
raises.
Yeah, I'm not putting any faith. I'm not putting any faith in any politician.
No.
But here's the thing. I trust the process when it's working. If it's not working, then I don't. Now, I can't think of anything that Biden did, Obama did, or Bush Jr. or Clinton or Bush Senior or Reagan or any one of them that I can say that actually benefited the country, that brought the deficit down.
Do you know what Obamacare did to healthcare? Obamacare. What happened was
raised the deficit.
It costs people more money, and I'm going to explain this. Now, when Obamacare, the idea sounds nice, but in practice, it doesn't work because what happens is the hospitals jack up the price of everything through the health insurance people, which causes your health
make sure they get paid.
If you go to a hospital and get an MRI, you can get an MRI for $250. They'll charge your insurance company thousands of dollars for it. And guess what happens? Yep. That brings up your premiums. And if you're charging the insurance companies way too much money, well, they have to cover themselves. And what do? They pass it on to the person who's purchasing health insurance. So this is how I'm telling you, the more you keep taking and the more governmental subsidies you keep increasing, the poorer the people will get. It does not help people. What helps people is providing jobs.
Jeremy, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Hey, do you got that do you got that Thomas Sowell one that you played when he was talking about Thomas the economy and stuff?
I got Thomas Sowell.
Do you got the one where he was talking about the economy and what it takes to fix it? I think you played it the other day. I've seen it before. When he was talking about no, is that the one when he was talking about the economy?
He talks about the economy in all of them, like socialism. I can do that.
Well, I think he was talking about. Yeah.
Which one do you want?
Either one. I just wonder, like how the deficit and all of that works. I can't remember which video that is.
I'm going to show you this one. This is Thomas Sowell right here. Hold on, him. I got it for you. This is for all the people who think. This is a man who lived in Jim Crow and became very successful during that era. Keep that in mind. 1940s Harlem. Keep that in mind. 1940s Harlem.
The black poverty rate declined from 87% in 1940 to 47% in 1960, prior to the great expansion of the welfare state that began in the 1960s under the Johnson administration. And as late as 1969, 2/3 of all black children were living with Black parents. And then we get the Great Society enacted. Again, I quote you. There was a far more modest decline in poverty rate among Blacks after the Johnson administration's massive war on poverty. And by 1995, only 1/3 of Black children were living with both parents. And among Black families in poverty, 85% of the children had no father present.
Yes.
A century of
Pause for a second, Brother Jeremy.
American families.
Brother Jeremy, I just said all of that before you got on here.
I know. This is what I mean. This is what people need to understand. This is an economist, where that is his profession, is how the economy works. That's literally what
And he
does.
used to be a Democrat. And he used to be a
He used to be
Democrat.
a Marxist, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, well.
He hates DEI. He hates affirmative action. He hates those ideas.
Yeah.
Because those ideas do not promote success.
No, they don't.
They don't promote success. They promote biases. And meeting a quota.
They do not. Yep.
All they meet. Let me know when you want me to continue.
Yeah, go ahead, Brother Jeremy.
And economic and educational progress. And then it all begins to slide away. Things start to get worse. What happened?
Well, the welfare state itself happened, but more than that, it's the welfare state vision. The idea that the world owes you something takes off. And it happened in Britain, where the underclass is white. It's amazing the parallels. And similarly, the notion with schools. In Britain, kids in low-income neighborhoods who want to learn get beaten up by their classmates, because that's regarded as class treachery. Over there, it's class that's the big deal. Here, it's race. But the net result is the same.
Tom, you had to have been a good student when you were a little kid growing up in Harlem. What reaction do you remember anybody saying, no, don't be too good a student? You'll make everybody else look bad in the family? Or what was it like in your generation when people were beginning to discover that little Tommy Sowell was a pretty smart kid?
Well, actually, when I first got to Harlem, I was not regarded as a pretty smart kid, because I'd come out of the South. And back in those days, the Southern education was so inferior to the Northern education that
you were behind when you were alive.
My gosh, I was in North Carolina. I was among the top students in the class, and in my first year in New York, I was trailing whoever was the second worst student in the class.
How old were you when you moved from North Carolina up to Harlem?
9.
9. Okay. So, but somewhere in there, you get a library card and you start reading, and you become a good student. And what is the reaction of your family and your neighbors and so forth as you begin to become a good student?
Well, the neighbors didn't really know that. Oh, the family was there. They were so pleased. And I still remember what a to-do they made when I was promoted to the 7th grade. And I wondered why. And someone said to me, "You've now gone further than any of us."
Wow. Wow. You've just explained we get a century of progress, then a retrogression, as you call it.
And the economics was not the reason. I mean, there's no question that blacks in the 1960s had a higher standard of living than blacks in 1940.
Right. So why is it? I have to say, I get to the passages about African American progress, that century of progress, and I have to reread them because they run so counter to what I believe I understand, which is that the legacy of slavery is so deeply impressed on African Americans, and it's the Great Society that begins to make some progress. How is it that a whole
Jeremy, pause for a second, man.
American history is simply...
He's about to tear it to shreds.
No, I had to laugh. Jackie McCall got me laughing, man. You hear what he said?
Yeah. Jackie, the answer to
That's a
it
good
is
one, Jackie McCall. I'm going to get that to you.
Hey, the answer is free markets. Free markets is the answer. Free markets and capitalism is the answer.
That's funny though. That's funny. All right, you get back into it. I just wanted to see that.
On, it doesn't get talked about.
Well,
What's the explanation for
heavens! That's not the only thing. You know, from one of the other chapters there, the people who talk about the 1920s, the history of the 1920s is taught, including in a history book written by a Stanford professor that sells for $160 that I bought recently. And you know, he tells you what happened, what Andrew Mellon said, and how this was tax cuts for the rich. And all you have to do is pick up Mellon's book, and you'll find out what Andrew Mellon said. And all you have to do is go on the internet and get the IRS data of the 1920s. You find that it bears no resemblance to what is said in this history book that costs $160.
Mm-hmm. So ideology trumps historical understanding.
I mean, I have the IRS data for every year of the 1920s in my file, and it's just farcical. And these are not stupid people. And I don't believe that all of them are lying. I believe that they've heard what other people have said and they've repeated it, and they haven't bothered to check the facts.
All right. Welcome to Uncommon Knowledge. I'm Peter Robinson. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/.
I think the other one would be better. That one was a short one.
Okay.
That was a little longer.
Now, Jackie McCall, you can say that if you want to. I already told you. You can't prove, unless you can prove him wrong, you can say he's wrong, but you would have to prove him wrong. And guess what? Not even the greatest minds has proved him wrong.
You need facts. You need facts.
You must not know that how many degrees that man got.
Well, it's not only that, it's the history that he's done and the research that he's done over decades. That's what it is.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, put the one up about DEI because he's trying to say DEI don't exist.
Oh. Which one? Thomas Sowell?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. He hates affirmative action and DEI. He hates.
Yeah. Because it does no good. And then let's be honest, like everybody said, and they had to finally admit that blacks didn't benefit from DEI.
They did it.
Or affirmative action. That's a fact. It's just a talking point. You know what I'm going to do though, because they kind of don't want to play Cosby on TV and stuff like that because of the stuff that they said that he did. I'm going to buy his. And yeah, I'm going to get that, the Cosby's. That, and I'm going to get A Different World. Couple of them, you know.
So this is on the DEI. Oh, hey, Al Morris. Greetings. How are you?
How you doing, sir? How you going? How you doing, sir?
How's it going?
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing all right. I see Thomas Sowell. I thought I'd come back.
That's my guy right there. Thomas Sowell's my guy.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know, I wouldn't have a problem. I ain't never had a problem. I've been knowing about Thomas Sowell for about 10 years now. That's when I first. I take that back. About 7 or 8.
Oh yeah, like no, I really, you know, I read the book, that Black Rednecks, White Liberals, you know, and
that one's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a real good book. He wrote a section about.
That was one of my first. That's one of the first books that I came in contact with. But I tell you, what really let me know how good Thomas Sowell was. I don't know if you've seen the debate between him and the white lady. Have y'all seen that?
Yes.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, this is an old one. No, it's
Man.
old. He shreds her.
Woo, boy. He absolutely demolished her. Didn't disrespect her at all, or anything like that.
He did this.
Man, you see that right there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that white the one that Brother Al was mentioning.
She was trying to defend that democratic point of view and all that stuff. All of that and everything. And man, he totally demolished her. That's what I knew that's what I knew Thomas Sowell was so cool.
Oh yeah. Well, I think I seen that was like he had like the little small fro, right? The little small, like kind of like a little.
Yeah. No, that was back in late 70s, early 80s.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, you gotta
I know
look
what you're
that up.
talking about.
Yeah.
Type in. All you gotta do is type in Thomas Sowell debates. He don't have a lot of them, but he did debate.
He debated
I
Joe
think he
Biden.
was talking. I think that's what he was talking about. Like if a woman don't have kids, that it shows that their earnings over the years, there is no like gender.
Yes, there's no discrepancy, but it's because of childbearing and things like that, and they don't work as long, and that the man works 500 more hours in the same occupation, which is why he makes more.
Okay, I seen parts of that. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah, okay. I got to watch the whole thing.
And then a lot of people.
Entirety.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. A lot of people recycle a lot of his talking points as if they're their own, their own points.
Correct.
Like he was talking about. I think the best that I first heard when the same one, like part of this right here, but it was the one that was older when he talked about. And this was back in the 70s when he first talked about this. Like when he lived in New York. And he could go sleep outside and not worry about anything. And he compared it to now, which was actual pretty good. But he also showed what caused that. He didn't just talk about what he couldn't do. He actually gave examples as to why this happened, from the economy to the effects of socialism and all of that.
Yep.
Like a lot of statistics, people don't realize that a lot of his talking points are the reason why they got a lot of statistics, like on marriage rate, single parent homes, and a lot of that comes from Thomas Sowell.
Correct. Two of my favorite quotes from him is that facts aren't racist, and that intellectuals, politicians don't know what consequential knowledge is.
And here's the thing. Just think about this. Ben Shapiro come up with facts don't care about your feelings when Thomas Sowell had already said something to that effect already.
Correct.
Yeah. The thing about a lot of that, he does a lot of that because he wrote a real good he had a real good summation in this book in regards to the that historical battle. I don't want to call it battle, but the historical difference or relationship between Mr. Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois, which I thought was real good. It wasn't.
There's no comparison. The comparison, but still though, Booker T. Washington is the standout.
Yeah. I think a lot of the
right,
the contemporary.
A lot of those men were but a lot of still
breaking out, Brother Ham.
Your phone breaking up.
Yeah, Brother Ham's on the road. He's always on the road. So, what were you saying,
okay.
Brother Al? What were you saying?
Well, no, I was saying that it was a real good, balanced summation. I thought it was real good. So I thought it was a real good way he broke it down, the way he talked about it. Because a lot of things are so left leaning. Or
he didn't leave out. He didn't leave out the parts of them dudes being Skittles though.
You said say it again. Your phone break. You said what about he didn't leave out? What about
It's
being
breaking up
Skittles?
again.
No,
He said he
Oh,
didn't
good
leave out
now.
that part of them being Skittles.
Skittles.
He didn't
What
leave
you
out
mean?
that part. Yeah, they was
Who-
gay.
I'm saying, who you talking about though? Who you talking about?
Him. What was the other? What's the other guy that he did a comparison with the other one? I can't think of his name right off.
What, Trotter? You talking William Monroe Trotter?
No, he was a lot of times and they a lot of the Black Panthers and all of that stuff. They was
Oh,
what
Bear
is that
Rustin.
guy's name?
You talking Bear Rustin?
No. That's not him. It was
Aaron Henry?
W.E. Du Bois and then W.E. Du Bois and there's one other one. What is his name?
What time period was he? What time period?
Yeah, 70s.
The 70s. You say he was. Let me see. The 70s. Not
I don't
James
know.
Baldwin. Let me see.
What
not
was old
James
girl? What
Baldwin.
was old girl that used to put up the fist? What was old girl used to put up the fist? What was her name?
Angela Davis?
Yeah, he was affiliated with Angela Davis and all of them. W.E. Du Bois was one of the ones, and then what is the other guy's name? Jeremy, you know who I'm talking about?
No, I don't. I'm lost on what you're talking about.
Because Thomas Sowell talked about it. What is his name? I cannot think. Let me see. Let me see.
70s.
Yeah, hold on. I'm about to look it up right now. Yeah, and as soon as I say it, you're gonna know who it is. Watch. Because one of them was the dude that wrote The Butler.
I'm not sure.
Let me see. Man, I cannot think of his name for nothing, man. Every time it come up, every time it comes up, and then they always bring, and then they try to leave out the fact that he was that he was gay.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I'm not too sure. That is the only
mean,
person I can think of is Barry Rustin. But you said he wrote The Butler. Let me look it up.
Let's see. One was Toni Morrison, Alice Walker, Octavia Butler, Alex Haley. One of them. He was one.
Will Haygood?
No.
Who wrote The Butler?
Soon as I watch, that's some of them. It might be the 1960s. Let me make sure. I'm up here like I'm trying to.
What, James Baldwin?
James Baldwin.
Oh, okay.
There he is. Yeah. That's him.
Okay.
So it was W.E. Du Bois, James Baldwin. Now you remember he talked about him too.
In that book, in Black Redness, Red Liberals talked about him. I can't remember.
No, he wasn't in that one. He wasn't in that one, but he did talk about.
Okay.
Yeah. How I have to remember which one it is where it was talking about the difference in how Black supported things because of this. Because he talks about in a sense he talks about the herd mentality that a lot of Blacks had, like them voting Democrat without doing homework.
Yep.
Minorities. Not just Blacks, but just minorities in general voting Democrat without doing any homework. Even if it doesn't benefit them, they're still voting that. Like they voted against them, but greetings, Tanya Bond. Yep, Lee Daniels. You are absolutely correct. Lee Daniels. Yep. But I say that to say this, right? I watch these people. I watch these people like on different YouTube channels where they'll go and ask questions like, the the one guy did this one, which I thought was pretty good. He was giving different quotes of what Obama said. And he would say, does that sound like Trump? Yeah, that sounds like something Trump would say. And then he would show him that it was
I've seen him. Yes.
man, that was so cool because that just goes to show you, right? Yeah. I was like, well, still, Obama was the best president ever. Hold on, wait a minute. Did you just do it? And I shake my head when I see stuff like that, right? I made this comment earlier, and I'll say it again. Can anybody name anything that Obama did for black men in the 8 years that he was in office? That's the only question I asked, and I asked that specifically because I want to know, right? But then, not only Obama, I can't think of anything that Bush did, that Clinton did, that Reagan did, that Bush Sr. did, that Nixon did. None of that, right? And my issue that I have with that is this. You continue to vote for these men that's not going to do anything for them. It's all they got is talking points. Nothing that's going to benefit you or help you out. Now, I say this, right? Trump is not my overseer. Trump is not my spiritual leader. But God did put him there. That is a fact. And I have to say this, at least he's trying to do something for the country.
Yeah.
On all fronts. Now, whether you agree with him or not, that's why I was trying to tell Jackie McCall, you can't have an honest conversation about people if you're biased before you even open your mouth. Even if it don't feel right in your mouth to say something about them, at least say something positive of that they've done, right? Like even Pastor Jennings said, yeah, he did try to do things that benefit the church, and that's a good thing. He helped them over in Venezuela. That's a good thing. But it just goes to show you that in order for you not to be biased, you got to be able to speak from the other point of view without having a biased point of view. And people can't do that. And to be honest, I can't really name. Yeah. I didn't dislike Biden. I just didn't like his policies. I can't think of anything he did in office that I benefited from.
Well, hey, you know the thing about it, it's just like it's, again, you know me, I've lived in 2 different countries, kind of 3, but the other place I was kind of like contracting, and I'm like, well, every country that I lived in, all of those countries had a certain jurisprudence in regards to immigration. You know, I don't know of any country that disallow people, undocumented people, or people to be in their country.
You can't.
So how is a man racist? You know, how is somebody racist by enforcing immigration law? Like every country I lived in, they had certain rules in regards to foreigners. You know, foreigners work.
How long you could be there? Right. How long you could be there, and they kept tabs on you.
Right. So why would I go and throw myself before a bullet for somebody who's not here illegally? It's like you know, people are so, like you said, emotional that you know, or you trying to paint the man as a racist, and the man is only enforcing the laws that come with the country. You know, there's gonna come with any Republicans you live in. Those things are gonna come with it. You know, so it's like a lot of that stuff. You know, you just, you know, like they say, man, Marxism, all that, you know, a lot of that cultural Marxism is a cancer. You know, a lot of that leftist ideology it just destroys everything that it touches. And you know, a lot of it is you know, a whole bunch of nothing. You know, that it doesn't get good results for a whole host of people who take part in it. You know, so it's crazy.
You know something though. I said this earlier, right? I said you can't go to any country in America, any country in the world, without having a visa, and you can't stay in that country without being a citizen of that country, and with a visa that allows you to be there. But when it comes to America, you want to say America is racist, but the other countries are doing the same exact thing.
I did an episode on different immigration laws on my channel, and I showed the
I remember
hypocrisy
that.
of people. I did it. I showed Mexico first. I showed the United States, and we went through and read the immigration laws. Then I went to Mexico, showed the
Yep.
immigration laws from Mexico. Mexico's are identical to the United States. Then I went to I believe it was Sweden, and Sweden's is way worse. You can't even vote if you're not a native. And then I went to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, I seen that president. He was like, "Don't come here." He said, "Yeah." He said, "You can visit here
Have it right.
as long as you're legally. But if you're not, he says, like, don't come here." And you know what? They shoot. They shoot if you cross the border illegally.
So that's why I did that episode. And the question that I asked, I said, "Are they racist?" I said, "Is Mexico racist?" I said, "Is Sweden racist? Is Dominican Republic racist?" Because their laws don't allow you in there. And in Dominican Republic, like I said, you can't ever vote. Even if you live there lawfully, you're not allowed to vote unless you're from the Dominican Republic. You're not allowed to vote. You're not allowed to have a political say on anything. And you have to have a certain amount of money. Hold on. You have to have a certain amount of money, United States dollars, in order to move there. I think it's like $10,000. You have to have 10,000 US dollars in order to move there if you're a foreigner. And I asked the question.
Hey,
is that
brother
racist?
Jeremy. Hey, it was funny, right? I was just watching this video the other day. I shouldn't be laughing, but I am though, right? So this Skittle couple moved from America to Canada, right?
Yep.
Now they get to Canada thinking that things is gonna be better. Guess what? They can't even find nowhere to stay because unless they get citizenship, they're gonna be homeless.
Yeah.
So
You know what?
I shouldn't be laughing at them, but it was stupid, right? Because they get over there. Now they're asking a GoFundMe to fund. Our money that we had here is running out. We've been staying in a hotel since we got here, but our money's running out. So I'm gonna start me a GoFundMe so we can find a place to stay.
So
I should be laughing at them, but that just goes to show you that you cannot do that in somebody else's country.
Have you ever seen the interview with Thomas Sowell where he talks about the reason why the healthcare we have now is better than free healthcare, and he gives the examples of Britain.
He did that comparison to Canada.
Yep, because over there you don't get your own room. Over there you can't have surgeries unless they approve the surgery. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So you're paying for your own private room when you go to a hospital or a doctor's office. You're paying for the ability to choose your own surgery or your own, however you want to go about your ailment. Where over there, you don't have a choice. Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything, but you don't have a choice of what you can do for healthcare. You have to just take what they give you, and if it means that you have to wait and die, then too bad. That's it.
Yeah, but another thing is, right, because medicine is so high over here that I noticed like people were getting these prescriptions and things like from like Mexico, these different countries, and dying from that stuff. Like they were getting insulin that was old or this or that or whatever. But see, what people fail to understand is, like Jeremy was just talking about with Obamacare. Obamacare is the reason why prescriptions and stuff like that are so high.
Correct. Because Obama promised.
Hey, Greedy is floating on too. Sorry about that.
He promised that Obama's campaign slogan was that Obamacare was going to lower the cost of prescription drugs and your health care premiums. And that was nothing but a lie. It ballooned after that. So they give nice sounding speeches on things that sound good to people, but in practice and in reality, this is why I always go back to factual, actual reality. In practice, it sounds good, but can it be done in practice? Can it be done in the real world? And the answer is no. Socialism cannot be done in the real world effectively for everybody. Neither can universal health care. It cannot be done because things cost money. And if you don't have the money to pay for it, that's like them telling you you got to work for free for the rest of your life. You're going to be like, no. So why would you ask somebody else
Yeah.
to do something for free if you wouldn't for your profession? Like, come on. What are we doing here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I tell people all the time that make that type of socialistic them type of arguments. I don't know if y'all remember the boxer, what was his name? The one from Cuba. I don't know why I can't think of
Vargas? Fernando
No,
Vargas?
no, the one he fought Gervonta Davis. He fought he just fought maybe Gervonta Davis maybe like in the last 3
Oh, you talking
years.
about the brother, one of the brothers?
No, Yuriorkis Gamboa, right? Now,
Okay.
now
Okay. Yeah, I
Yuriorkis
don't know who he is.
Gamboa, he talked about when he was a very decorated amateur. He won a couple Pan Am games. He won maybe a couple. He won a couple U.S. Olympic golds. So he said when he
Yeah.
got back to Cuba, he said he's looking at all his other the other amateur stars from his generation. They're going back to America, going back to where they are. They're getting cars. He said that when he got back to Cuba, he got a bike. Now, so he's like, I'm a decorated amateur. I'm a boxing star, internet competition, national gold winning boxing champion. And they come back to my
Yeah, Gold
country
Glove.
and
Gold
give
Glove.
me a bike. Yeah, give me a bike. And I said, see, people want to be rewarded for their gifts. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't, at the end of the day, some people in a society have more
But you know
gifts.
what though? I got to go with what you just said, right? Now just think about it. Here's the difference in socialism and capitalism. You're rewarded for the job that you do or whatever you're doing in your profession. If you're a boxer and you win, we reward you for that, especially if you become an undisputed champion or whatever the case may be, or golden gloves. You're supposed to be rewarded for that, but that's part of capitalism. When there's no reward in what you do, that's socialism.
Yep.
Jeremy was just
So that's where you get
talking about that.
That's where you get mediocrity, because if you're all getting paid the same, nobody's going to do it to a high standard. Nobody will. They'll be very vanilla, very basic. They'll do the bare minimum. Have you ever stopped and looked at when you have a government-funded job, when it's a bridge, and how long it takes them, versus if it was an independent contractor who has to meet a deadline, otherwise he goes broke?
No, matter of fact, that's a good example. That's for the most part.
He said
the
Gaboa.
industry.
Hey, ingredients, DeAndre. Sorry, brother.
No, I was going to say that.
Now, go ahead. Keep going.
That's the shipyard industry on the East Coast. I worked at public versus private shipyards, and again, government. Matter of fact, one of them I worked in, it got so bad because, like I said, they weren't getting anything done. People were milking the clock. It was a host of situations, and then they want to bring in a South Korean.
And the government protects them while they do it too.
Yeah. So I mean, like private things. Like I said, man, I don't even know how people can make those.
I get your point. I get your point, brother.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if you own a business, you have deadlines. There's only a certain amount of money. If the government is taking money over and over from people because it's never ending, because they just keep taking it from everybody, so there's no, like I said earlier, what Thomas Sowell said, there's no consequential knowledge. There's no consequences for their failure. It's unlimited funds, unlimited payment, unlimited jobs. They cannot fail. If they fail, they get reelected. And when they get reelected, they fail some more, and they get reelected again, and they fail some more, and they keep taking the American people's money, and they keep allowing all these things. And this is where, over decades upon decades of this is what you get. This didn't happen in the last 10 years. This happened since the 1960s. It's been an ongoing thing for decades.
Yeah. They created a money pit. They created a money pit, and the problem is all they did was was dump debt into it. They didn't put money into it. They dumped debt into it. And that's what happened over the years. And the first person, this is when I go back to Trump. He's the first person that decides to try to fill that hole of that money pit. And now people's like, no, don't fill that hole because we still need money. We still need money from it.
You need
So yeah, that's the problem.
You need to have things get a little bit worse before they get better, like you said earlier, Brother Ham. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to feel the struggle.
Usually the cure hurts. It's like somebody that's been suffering something for years, and then they finally get a cure for it. It's gonna hurt before it gets better.
And Thomas Sowell, when he went through the Great Depression and how he explained the Great Depression, he explained it how naturally the unemployment rate was going down because the economics of it was working itself out. It was when the government got involved that it ballooned it up to like 20% unemployment rate. Whenever the government touches anything, it destroys that thing. And he says it perfectly. No government in the history of the world has ever pulled people out of poverty. That's a fact. It's been people themselves that have pulled themselves out of poverty because of their hard work.
Yeah, that's something that they know that they have to do.
Exactly.
Some people will fight. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, you know how it be people. They'll even try to make it like like Tesla is socialism, or what's the other company? Because they got government contract. You know how people do. Oh man, well,
but that's not socialist though.
Yeah, you got you got people make all.
Yeah, that's capitalism. That's capitalism. And one thing I can tell you is, it's funny, right? That all of these rich socialists still are capitalists.
Yep. They thrive in a capitalist society.
Soros and the owner of Amazon and Walmart and all of these Fortune 500 and $1 billion and $1 billion companies, they're all capitalists, but they're always talking about socialism. Like old girl, that one singer, Billie Eilish, no, right? Talking about all that mess.
That woman's dumb.
Yeah.
Stolen land. Well, why don't you sell your home on the stolen land then? If it's stolen land, you should be occupying it yourself.
Hey, DeAndre, you fail to understand that within a year, Trump has already recouped $1 trillion. You didn't know that, did you?
It takes time to recoup a $35 trillion debt. I said it before because I didn't know anything about Obama, but I said even in 2008, and I didn't know as much as I know now, but even I said then, it's not going to be done in his presidency. You can't expect that for one president's run to solve the whole problem. It needs to continue after one has already started it. So once one started it, the next one needs to take the baton and he needs to continue it. Or
it's going to take the same amount. Yep, it's going to take the same amount of years it was to start it to end it.
It's going to take decades.
So if you say from the 60s, what's that, like 70 years?
It's going to take decades. Yeah, it's going to take decades to climb out of.
So it's going to take. It's going to take about 60 more years to fix it. It's not going to happen overnight. But somebody has to start it.
Right? It's like this. How easy is it for you to get into debt yourself? Very easy, right? How hard is it to climb yourself out of debt once you've gotten in debt? Very difficult, and it takes a lot longer.
Like I'm doing right there, I can tell you.
I'm just saying, it takes longer for you to overcome your personal debt than it is to put yourself in debt. So now you need to quantify that by trillions, and you have to quantify that by billions of people. It's not that simple. You have to start it off good and you have to continue it. It's like it's all.
And the thing about it is,
starts off poof. It's a $1 million company. No, it takes time.
Yeah. Yeah, if Trump leaves those tariffs in place in about 10 years, pretty much half of the deficit will be gone.
How about this? How about this? No tax on tips. How does that not help? How does that not help the
Yeah,
people
that
who
helps.
get less?
That definitely helps.
No tax on overtime.
That
How
definitely
does
helps.
that not help the person who's lower?
Yeah, but you know what though? I found out that it's a limitation in that. Like, right, you only get a certain amount with that, not that much. So that's not, unless they do it all the way for overtime, it's not really a benefit.
What's
Because
the
if you
amount?
say, for
20
instance,
hours?
yeah, I think it's about 20, something like that.
How many people work 20
It's
hours
not a lot.
regularly?
Man, you talk about me when I was working a job. I was working about
I'm saying
60 days.
the vast majority of the United States. The vast majority of the
They're not
United
gonna
States.
do that.
How many of them work 20 hours or more? Not many.
Nobody.
How many
Yeah,
people
you're
work
right. So
15 hours a week?
yeah, that's true. But I'm just
So
saying,
they're going to
it's
get
not
the
a lot
full amount.
in the grand scheme. Yeah.
It is. If you work
Now,
15
the
hours
tax on now no tax on tips. Now the no tax on tips actually does work.
No. The note. Listen, if you work 15 hours overtime, you're within that limit, right? So let's say you make $20 an hour.
Yeah.
So for $30 an hour for 15 hours, do the math each week. How much is that you're not getting taxed on? Let's do some math here. 30 times 15 is what? It's $450 you're not getting taxed on.
Yeah.
Now you times that by 52. Now you're talking $23,400 that's put back in your pocket. That's a big deal. That's a car note.
Look, he didn't know that Trump recouped $1 trillion with them tariffs.
The tariffs made a lot of money back. It did. I don't know the exact number. Ham would probably know better than I do on that one. I don't.
Yeah, he could have been wrong on the number, but I believe he got close to the 1 trillion. That's what
If
he was
gets
saying.
back $500 billion, that's more than what the other presidents have gotten back. Period.
Yeah,
So
because none of them fixed any of the deficit.
They didn't even get $1 million back.
All we know is the deficit is not growing like it was when the other presidents was in office, and they have to admit that. We're taking in money. We're not hemorrhaging money like that anymore. But if those tariffs go away,
hear this out, Brother Ham. Then you add the fraud that's getting cut on top of that.
Yep, that is true.
You have to add not just.
And did you see?
Now you have to add the fraud in Minnesota, California. I think now there's some in is it Ohio? They found Ohio. There's some in Maine now. There's some in Massachusetts. It's all over the place. So if you cut out all of this billions of dollars of fraud that's being stolen from the American people in the name of child care, food stamps, and cash assistance, if you take all that out and you look at those billions of dollars, that goes a long way towards deficit.
But you know what's crazy though? Do you see the Somalis that asked for that money? Did you see that?
Oh yeah, they asked for reparations. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, are they idiots?
Was it 200,000 they asked for or something like that?
Nah, that was 200 million.
Oh, they asked, but was it? I thought it was 200,000 they asked for. Maybe I read.
No, no, that's per person that was asking for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 200,000 per person. Yeah.
So it equaled out to about 200 million.
So, well, that's what he's doing with the Medicaid and Medicare. When you cut out all the fat, you have less spendage. When you have less spendage, you have more that goes towards the deficit. That does help. That's what Medicaid pays for.
Medicaid is being reformed. That Medicaid is being reformed. That's why they've been fighting in Congress. They've been fighting in Congress to take away the Medicaid that's been given to the illegal aliens. It has to be reformed, and that's one of the things. That's a lot of money going out for people that's not even illegally in the country.
So that you got to add all those things
And,
up.
and let's not
Part of that
forget,
fraud.
and let's not forget, it's a felony. It's a felony to cross the border.
Yep. Yes. So when we look at the totality of it all, over time, those things will help. Over time, those, and I also think he needs to stop. We need to stop sending money over to foreign countries as well. I think that needs to stop as well. I'm not going to go lenient on that either. You need to get out of people's business.
I'm okay.
Kind of let
Yeah.
them handle it.
I'm okay with humanitarian help. I'm all right with that.
Oh,
But it shouldn't be so accessible as it's being.
The funding the war type.
Military and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. I think. Yep.
That's where I hope Trump stops doing that. I hope that's an area he needs to improve on. And I don't have a problem saying that. Because right is right and wrong is wrong.
Yeah. Their wars should not be our war, and that is a fact. But let anybody else tell it. We're supposed to do that. Not that we have to, but other people feel like we have to.
So
which is strange to
you see DeAndre's comment. He says he's getting hit with a $5,000 tariff bill.
Who would get hit with a $55,000 tariff bill?
5,000. This is what DeAndre's saying. I haven't heard any of that.
No, none of us. No, them tariffs don't come back to us at all. Has nothing to do with us. Those are the companies. Unless you own a company, that's the only way that happens.
That's what he's saying.
See, you don't know tariffs. I can tell that.
He said he owns a company.
See, yeah, but if you're outsourcing your product, that's the price of doing business.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I hate to say it.
If he's getting his stuff from outside the country, that's why he gets hit with that.
I agree with it. I'm gonna be honest. To be able to do it here in America and get it here in America.
I don't think people know their history. When they look back at the United States when it thrived, it did stuff in the country.
I know, but Brother Jeremy, I just went over this. My mother was working at RCA. Remember that, right? She was working at RCA. RCA decided that they wanted cheaper labor, so they moved their company to Mexico. After they did that, all of these people lost their job, including my mother. Then Radio Shack, which was one of their biggest service stores, went out of business. Then Circuit City showed up, and Best Buy at the same time. Remember, Best Buy didn't outsource; they did stuff in America. That's why they're still here, and Circuit City isn't.
Circuit City. I remember Circuit City.
Yeah, they went out of business fast. Because that's the problem. You can't and the thing about it is people got long memories like elephants, right? They got long memories like elephants. I remember when y'all, you know, like me, I can remember when they took my mother's job from her. You know what I mean? I can remember that. She don't remember that. People do have long memory like elephants, and that's the thing. You take something from somebody, which these companies have done, it has a consequence. It might not happen tomorrow, might not happen the next day, might not happen in 10 years, might not happen in 20, might not happen in 30, but it's gonna happen. And see, that's the thing. When people vote with their dollars, oh, that's crazy, boy. Look, man, it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. I hate to say this, right? I get it. People home can do that, but they can't to work. Here in Chicago. Now, you can't do that where I live at. There's some other people, but there where I live at,
Kind of
real
breaking out,
small.
Brother Ham.
Yeah, I'm down here in this bad area. But yeah, I see a lot of stuff, right? Like I hate to see people homeless or things, but then when I see people that's able-bodied, no, it was more than that. It was more than 200 billion. But I will say, right, that like I hate to see people, or suffering or going through whatever they're going through. Like, and Jeremy, you heard me say this before, right? You heard me say this before. There's a difference between a poor person and a lazy person. Poor person may have fell on hard times because maybe the economy might have caused them to lose their job or whatever the case may be. But then you have the lazy person that always trying to figure out a way to get ahead without having to work for it. Want to get rich off of your labor. Want to get rich by with hands out instead of working. I believe, like the Bible said, if you don't work, you don't eat. Problem is people forgot that. I see whole families struggling and things like this. Like I seen this guy, right? He was talking about this guy. His family, they was homeless. He had lost his job and everything, right? And he offered to help him out to get on his feet and stuff like that. He was like, well, if you just pay for the room, you just pay for the room for us, for long enough to stay here, right? Do you know how much the room was that they was talking about staying in per night?
I have no idea.
A night.
What happened?
Now, if you paying $700 a night, why are you homeless?
That's crazy because you're paying $700 a night. So here's what people forget, right? This country was founded and it went through immense struggle to be where it is now.
It did.
They were not only fighting against the people that were native to here, they were also fighting against Britain and the taxes being imposed on the people. So the amount of struggle that they went through surpasses what people are going through today, because they were struggling to even just have a home and food. These people are struggling to have material items like iPhones and computers and internet. That's not a real struggle.
You got $1,000 iPhone and you homeless.
Yeah, that's not a struggle. A struggle.
You got a $300 phone bill and you homeless.
Correct. So these people were fighting off on both ends while trying to feed their family in a land that they had no idea about.
Right.
I want anyone here to go try that and see how that works out for you.
Exactly.
People forget
that's just like here
that they went through.
Yeah.
People forget that quite often.
Yeah. We living in and we living now
prosperous the way it is today.
Yeah, we living in an entitled society. They believe that they owed everything without having to work for it.
Yep.
Like I was told when I was younger that anything, even after being in the streets and stuff like that, that lesson that I was given by my dad when I got to the age that I am now, well, before this, it started to make sense to me. But he always said, that whatever you earn by your hand.
Yeah.
And now I understand that, right? I acquired a lot of skills over the years. Like me and you were talking the other day, Brother Jeremy, how I was telling you how I did electrical work for like 3 years. We were talking about that. But I know how to drive a forklift. I know how to drive a tool truck. I know how to drive a backhoe. I know how to do. I acquired skills, right? Over the years, and I didn't realize that they would be useful later on in life.
Yeah, correct. So that's the thing, right? I think DeAndre wants to get
Hold
on.
on.
You want to drop the link for him?
Yeah,
He wants to talk about the tariffs.
that's what I'm about to do now.
Here's the thing, right? In life, I tell my
Hey,
kids this.
can you pull up dude that was talking about the tariffs? The one guy that I told you, the Skittle dude that we talked that's the financial advisor for Trump.
I don't know.
What's his name?
I don't know.
The one guy that you was talking about. He was like, well, you got to look past him, even though he's gay, this and that, or whatever.
Oh, I
Uh,
wasn't talking about. I don't know that guy.
no, you had brought him up, and I said something about it.
No, I didn't bring him up. No.
Yeah, when we was talking that one night, and I brought and you said something about it. What I can't think of his name right off. The dude that always talking like about the tariffs and stuff like that.
I don't know. Maybe I don't remember.
Hey, the link's in the chat, DeAndre.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's weird that people's complaining about tariffs now, and tariffs been in effect for going on 7 years now. No, actually, no, 12 years, 10 years.
You know,
because Trump was in there. Yeah.
You know what, tariff? So you always have to pay a cost of business when you deal international, regardless. There's a cost.
Hold on. Let's see. Now, what was you saying, DeAndre?
Yeah, the tariff. Let's talk about the tariffs. I think you
Yeah,
said
that's
like
fine.
you said the consumers are not paying that. Is that what
No,
you're
I
saying?
didn't say that.
What did you just
No,
say? You just
no.
said
What I said,
only if
no,
you're outsourced.
I didn't bring up. I didn't bring up the consumer. I'm simply
Right.
saying who's paying the cost, and those are the businesses.
Yeah, but I'm saying the consumers are paying some of that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's not enough. It's not enough for it to
All
really
right.
affect you.
So
Now,
let me
here's
give
the
you.
thing. Hold
Well, let me give
on.
you.
Okay, but I still got to say this, right? I can guarantee you, if you live where I live at, you wouldn't even think about the tariffs.
Where you live? Where you live?
I live in Indiana,
I live in
and our
Bloomington.
taxes are still good.
I live.
Right?
I live.
Our
I live in.
our
Hold
taxes
on. Wait.
our
Hold on.
taxes
Hold
are
on.
good,
I live in
and you
Bloomington,
can't say that
right?
they ain't.
What do you mean?
But you
Hold
can't
on.
say
Hold
the
on. Wait.
taxes is bad here.
Are we talking about taxes or tariffs? Which one are we talking about? That's two. We're talking about two different things.
Those are you
No,
do
it's not.
realize that the tariffs fall.
That's
Hold on, wait a minute. The tariffs affect things that you buy from different from different stores. That's where the tariffs come in, or when you buy a
what?
car, or when you get building supplies,
Yeah.
and all of this. Right? Our stuff is not
Sure.
expensive
Yes.
here.
What? Okay. Okay. Well, okay. If I can prove to you that it does impact me myself as a business owner and as an employee, would that change your
Well,
mind?
my brother, I got my own business too.
Right. Okay. But I'm saying I'm about to give you examples of how it's impacting like the consumer. Right? Okay. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I told you I'm a business owner. Me and my wife, we own a business, right? So when I say we about to get a $5,000 tariff bill, so we bought something overseas because it was just simply too expensive to do it here in the U.S. It was just too expensive. So we're
Price of
talking
doing
about.
business, but go ahead.
I know. Okay. So okay, you get hit with a $5,000 tariff bill because I no, if I was to do it in the U.S., like no, we paid $30,000 for this stuff that we're getting from Singapore. All right. So if we were to do that in the US, it would have cost us over $60,000. Then we have to pay a licensing fee each year of like $3,000. It's just too expensive when I could just pay a one-time fee for $30,000. So I mean, which one would you rather do
I
as a business
understand that,
owner?
but
So that
how many
hurts the business owner. So that
hold on,
hurts the
I
business.
got to ask you how many years did you not have to do that
What do you mean? I don't know. I
since you
mean,
had
this
your
is
business?
yeah.
How
So
many
we had
years
a
did you not have to pay that?
well, we had our business for like 3 years now, but this big shit, this
And you
big
haven't had to
order.
pay it for 3 years, right?
Well, you can't say that because we haven't bought anything like that from overseas. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So we never
But
bought
here's the
something.
thing. But here's the thing, right? What I keep trying to make clear to people is this: it's gonna hurt before it gets better.
Okay, but
I'm
okay,
just telling
but I know, but okay, but that's personal, right? That's personal. You don't go and tell someone personal that hey, it's going to hurt you before it gets better. No one's trying to hear that, right? All you're trying to hear
you.
your dollars right now.
I know, but that's the price of doing business,
I
though.
understand that, but I'm trying to tell you how it's impacting the consumer, even
Can I ask you
consumers
a
in
question?
Europe.
Can
Yeah,
I ask you a
sure,
question?
sure.
So you said it would cost you 60,000
Right.
to do it in the United
So
States, plus the
plus a
fees for
licensing fee, plus a
okay,
licensing fee of
which
three
costs you
thousand a
what?
year,
Oh,
three
so, all
thousand
right,
a year.
so that's 63,000,
A year,
right?
a year though. You got to keep
Okay,
adding that up.
sixty-three thousand
But if you
dollars.
do it, how much
Hold on,
how much
him.
would you profit from it?
Hold on, him.
Wait,
Hold
hold
on
on,
a
hold on,
second.
hold on, hold on. Let's do one thing at a time.
One at a time. Now you paid 30,000 and a
Yes,
$5,000 one-time tariff fee,
it's
correct?
gonna be a deal. It's a bit deal.
So you just saved yourself almost $30,000.
Yes.
So why are you complaining about the $5,000 tariff?
What do you mean? Why am I complaining? I'm trying to tell you. What do you mean? Because I'm
Because
telling you.
if that's the case,
Wait,
you
hold on.
just saved
But you're
yourself
gonna
money at
get
the
it
business
back,
level.
though, right?
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. What question am I answering?
You just saved
No, no, no.
yourself $30,000, correct?
Right.
But 28,000 to be
Right.
exact.
What I'm saying though, but had I done it in the U.S., this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Had I done it in the U.S., it would have been significantly more. That's why people go the outsourcing route. All right.
Uh-huh.
That's why people go the
And
outsourcing route. So it's not
and
a matter of
there lies
hold
the
on.
problem. There
Well,
lies the
it's not
problem.
about every
Hold on.
things are just
Okay,
cheaper,
go ahead.
man.
Then I'm gonna say what I said.
That's competition. That's competition. You
Yeah,
can
but remember, so many companies have decided to take stuff overseas.
yes, okay,
And
but
that's
that's
the
the
problem
company.
because they didn't want to produce it. They didn't want to produce it here in America. This was the
Why?
whole point of why
Why
we
is
was
that,
telling
man?
them
Why?
to do the stuff here in America
But why is that? Because maybe it's too expensive for that company
because
to
you're
do
supposed to
business.
support your country where you
They
live
still
at.
do. Okay, I
That's
still support
why.
my country where I live. I
So
buy
No,
stuff from here, but
not
if I can find it
outsourcing it.
cheaper. Okay, listen.
here's what I
No,
gather.
not
We
outsourcing
buy
it.
Here's what I
hold
gather.
on. We buy several products. We buy several products. If I can find something cheaper, I will go with the cheapest route. That's business. You would do that
Correct.
as a business
Correct.
owner as well.
Correct.
Yeah,
No,
but you
I agree with
can't
that. I
complain
agree.
when it's not when it's not supported in America. That's my whole point.
What?
So
That don't even make sense.
I agree. I agree with DeAndre. He's going to do what's most cost effective for his
For
business.
my
That's
business,
any
yes.
business only would do.
I'm not arguing that.
My only thing is that $5,000 tariff did not hurt you.
Well, I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yes, if I had to go the route of a U.S. company, if I was
I
going
had
the route
already
of a
said
U.S.
that.
company, hold on, okay, but I'm trying to
So
tell you, you're still impacted. You still have to pay the tariff, right?
yeah,
You say it's $1 trillion. It's not $1 trillion. He's like 150 to 200 billion that he raised from that. And okay, and the consumer
It
who
was
bought
more
something,
than
they're
that, man. Don't do that.
Google it. All you have to do is Google it.
It was
I mean,
more than
that's
that.
okay. You can Google it and see. We don't have to. You can just
I,
Google it and see.
I
Literally,
seen
just
the number. The guy just said the same thing that you said and
okay.
got corrected on that. I'm
Anyways,
trying to think of the
okay.
financial
So,
guy right off.
anyways,
I can't think of his name.
okay. I don't know. I just Googled it. Say 150 to 200 billion, and I even Trump. I haven't heard him say it was $1 trillion at all. Never, not one time did he ever say that. But anyways, but okay. So I own my own business, right? And also I work for a company in building materials, right? We're a fencing company, right? So and this is how it works. So when he started raising prices on all these building material stuff, obviously our
He didn't
company
raise the
has the
prices. Biden did. Don't do that.
what are you talking about? The tariffs. We're talking about the tariffs.
That stuff went. No, the price of lumber and all of that stuff went up Biden time, long before these tariffs. Don't do that.
Okay. What? Okay, do we have to fact check that or like what? So
It
you're saying
actually
Yeah,
was
go
in
ahead and
20,
fact check it. I know it.
in
okay,
2020.
but the
It was in
tariffs.
2020, early 2020.
Okay,
I know
No,
because
okay.
wasn't no tariffs then, man.
No one's
not
talking about
tariffs. The
that. No
cost of
one's talking
lumber.
about 2020. I'm saying like since it went up,
Oh man,
bro.
you
Are we
ain't being
talking about the
fair. That's my
tariff?
whole
Are we,
point.
because we're not talking about Biden. We're talking about tariffs. That's what I'm talking about. Like you're talking about Biden in
But it
2020. I'm talking
wasn't
about
just the
tariffs.
tariff it wasn't just the tariffs that raised the price of the of
Well,
build
okay.
materials and
What
stuff.
else? Okay. What else? What else raised that? What prices, Ham?
So that happened in
The
so
Green
Wait,
New
hold on.
Deal, the Green
2020.
New Deal,
That ain't even
the Green
passed. What are
New
you
Deal.
talking about? That ain't even passed. What are you
It
talking about?
did.
Where?
It
Where?
did pass.
Where? Where
It
did it
passed back
pass
in
at?
2020.
When did it become a law?
What are you talking about? When did it become a law?
When you
They
pass
used
a bill.
everything that was with it
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold
except
on.
for
Hold
the
on. Hold on. Hold
actual
on. Hold on.
thing.
Hold on. Jeremy. Okay. If it
I'm not
passed.
talking. You're talking to Ham.
Okay. Okay.
Talking to Ham.
Ham. Okay. Ham. If it passed in 2020, when did it become a law? When did it pass the
Hold
Congress,
on.
Senate, and the president sign it?
Hold on.
Google that.
I'm gonna do just
Prove
what you
that.
did. I'm gonna do
Prove
just what
that.
you did, and I'll pull it up. When did building materials go up?
Are we talking about building material or the Green New Deal? So you keep
That's
you're
what we was
changing the
just
script.
talking about, right? That's
I'm
what we was
telling
just
you the
talking about,
Green
was we
New,
not?
but I'm telling you the Green New Deal never passed. That's what I'm telling you. So it's a moot point.
So. All right, then why did all the material go up if it didn't pass?
Okay. Okay. Are
Because it
we
didn't
talking
just
about?
happen.
Well, hold on. Okay. You asked the question. Okay. So in 2020, so you're talking around a time like COVID and all that stuff happened, right?
Yep.
That's the phrase, right? Okay.
Yep.
So around that time of
But
2020.
it was still
Okay.
going up after COVID. So don't
Okay.
forget that.
Okay. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. Prices rise. Like I mean, yeah. That's over time. Prices rise. But we're
But
talking
you
about.
just said it was because of tariffs.
I'm talking on top of tariffs. It's still expensive, is what I'm telling you. It's not.
Oh man.
No, you're like you're throwing so much stuff. And you're just trying to go different
No,
directions
we're
instead of
talking
like
about
listening.
the same thing, but
Okay,
you didn't mention that stuff went up before tariffs. You
we can
didn't do
talk
that.
about. Okay, we can
That
talk
was
about COVID.
disingenuous.
Okay. No, it's not because we wasn't talking about COVID time. Like I can give you my understanding of why
No, I
prices.
said you said when building materials went up. That's what you said. And
I'm
you
talking.
immediately said that it
Listen,
was tariff. Did you
I was
not
about.
say that?
Okay, because I told you I work for a building material company, right? And I was about to
I
give you an
got it.
example. Okay, I'm about to give you an example of when the tariff passed and why we had to push up our prices to sell to our customers. That's what I was about to give you that. But you cut me off. And then you
Go
went back to 2020.
ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so what do you want to talk about? 2020 or what the example I was about to give?
No, I want to talk about the fact that building materials went up long before tariffs.
Okay, I'm not disputing that, but I'm saying I'm talking about now. I'm talking about now with the tariffs. That's what I'm talking about. Like, which one do you want to talk about? 2020 or what? Like, we can go through the whole time frame of what I think what happened in 2020.
It's kind of a moot point because building materials went up long before the tariff. And here's the thing, though, and this is why I tell you that you're incorrect. Tariffs were in place when COVID was going on.
Okay, Ham. So around COVID, right, when everything was shut down, right, everything was shut down. A lot of business was impacted by this. A lot of businesses suffered, right?
I agree.
My understanding of the economics of why the building material and all that stuff became so expensive because there were bottlenecks on the economy. Every place in the world, inflation went up. Why? Because there was a supply chain issue. There was a supply chain issue, right? Everything, everywhere went up. It
Not
wasn't
well.
just in. Okay, you gotta let me finish. Everything went up. It just
Yeah,
wasn't in the
but
U.S.
actually, you have to talk to Jeremy and them. I'll be honest. I hate to stop this. I was in the middle of a delivery, so I'm actually going to drop something off real quick.
Okay, but that's my understanding of why prices went up for just like a lot of stuff. Inflation went rampant because there was
Correct.
the supply chain. We had a lot of supply chain issues, and then even if you go towards Biden in a year, things were getting better. Things were getting better.
So
Like inflation was coming down.
no. So with the building materials, because
Yeah, sure,
I work in the construction field.
sure.
So with the building materials, what happened was it was a combination of all the money that I don't know if you know anything about the Federal Reserve and what happens when the government gets money.
Yeah, yeah.
So what happens is the government gets a loan from the Federal Reserve. That's what all that money during the COVID time that they were shelling out to people to stay home. That came
Yeah.
from the Federal Reserve, which increased the debt, which increased the price of everything because they had to up the price of everything to try to make up for whatever was lost during that time because they got a loan that starts interest as soon as the check is cut from the Federal Reserve. So
Yeah.
this is what happens when government continues to spend is
Are
they
you
keep paying their money from the federal. This is exactly what happened during the COVID. That's why the
right?
price
So
of
you're
materials went
yeah,
up.
but I'm
And then
saying,
on top of that, so I just want to walk through. I'm walking through both
yeah.
of them, not just
But hold on,
COVID.
let's make sure we're talking about the same thing. So when you say the feds are pumping money, so you're talking just quantitative easing, right? Where the
Yep,
feds is pumping up the
exactly.
economic.
They're
Okay,
just
right. Okay,
artificially inflating the economy.
yes. Which
That's what really made everything go up.
I mean,
So
you can say that, but you can. I mean, there's also some pros to that as well. Like we could have been further deeper into the hole that we're in if it wasn't for like the feds pumping that money in. Because like, no, they say how to grow out of recession. A recession is like you spend money, you give people
no,
get more money to get
no,
back into the economy.
no, it doesn't work that way.
That's
Because the
economics.
interest,
That's
no,
economics.
the interest from the Federal Reserve. This is why we're continuously saying trillions of dollars of debt. It's because we don't make enough money to cover that debt year over year,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is from the Federal Reserve. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
So
well,
doing that increases that. No, because that's where they get their spending money. That's where wherever they get it. Oh, we need X amount of money for X. The Federal Reserve cuts the checks, right? So here's the thing. Now, besides that, you are right on the supply chain problems that did have an effect. It's a multitude of different things. I'm
yeah.
just explaining the other side of that and
I
what
get
really
it.
happened when you keep giving free money out. It's not free.
Well, let me ask you
Um,
this. Let me ask you this. So you do recall, right? So COVID, right? So right around time. So I think Trump gave a
it
couple
was when
checks.
Trump was in office, and it continued to do
Just towards
money.
the end,
It
towards the
wasn't
end, like
just
yeah, towards the end, yeah, like
it was
towards the
the
end
end.
of Trump,
The very last year he was actually holding office because Biden didn't take over till
January,
2021.
right? So what I'm saying,
Because
so I
the
think,
election was 2020. So 2020 was Trump was part of it. Biden continued it. So I'm not going to
right?
say to be biased.
No, I
Trump
think
was the
yeah,
one who started pushing it out,
right,
and
right.
Biden continued.
Right. Yeah, I'm saying like I'm under the mindset like we don't have money to like say we're in debt and we're 30 plus $1 trillion in debt. And
Yeah,
no matter what you do, like even if you say, I mean, I know we're talking about like cost savings and all this. So even
yeah,
Elon Musk, like he went in was supposed to find all these trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. And that didn't happen. The biggest driver of our debt is the Medicaid, Medicare,
correct,
and military
correct,
spend.
correct. I agree.
Unless you reform those, I mean, God knows how to figure that out. But unless you reform this, and then when you continually run $1 trillion
Do you
deficits,
think? Do you think that part of the Great New Deal of able-bodied workers is a start to that?
sure, yes, yeah. If you're look, I mean, I think that's coming like what when you
It's a
say that,
start.
I'm
It's
just
not the
talking about
complete
free.
answer,
No, no,
but
it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff you can do. It's not just like one stroke, right? Like even say like
correct,
fraud, waste, and abuse, right? You can get. I mean,
correct.
you can do that as well. Yes, if you're able bodied, like yes, go work. You're an able bodied
Yes,
person. Go work. So yes, I'm
correct.
100% on board with that. But
Okay.
military
Yeah,
spending,
military
yeah,
is high. I agree.
that
It's very high.
balloon. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah.
Medicaid and Medicare. Like I said, unless you that's the two biggest drivers right there. Unless you reform
And
that,
Obamacare is also another contributing factor to it
yeah.
because it costs the country more money because
What you say?
the cost of everything went up for medicines and care when
Got it.
Obamacare was um, put into effect.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
a
you can
fact.
say that, but I mean, it was
That's a
already
fact.
too high. Well, true,
Yeah,
yeah,
but no, it
it's true.
ballooned after Obamacare.
Why,
It ballooned.
but why do you think that? Because like more
The
people came
cost
into the market.
because the bill itself is not it's not feasible. It
Yeah,
doesn't work.
it had issues, but more people came into the realm of getting health care, and then they can no longer deny you if you had a pre-existing condition. And so,
Well,
like,
that
obviously,
part I agree with, but I'm talking
yeah, I
about
agree with that too.
cost. The cost of it did not help because well, it goes back to business, right?
Yeah,
If you have to insure somebody, regardless of their pre-existing condition, that means you have to up the cost of the premium, correct?
yeah, yeah. But but the same sense is that like even if you didn't pass Obamacare, like I mean, you're still passing the buck on because these
I'm
people
just
are
saying
going through the
that's
much.
part
No, yeah.
part of that's one of the many different ones
It's
that we're going through.
it's very look, it's very complicated. If
Correct.
someone yeah, it's very complicated. It's a lot of things that go into
It's a
it.
lot of different things. It's not one set thing, is what I'm
No,
getting at.
not at all.
Yeah, and
Not at all.
I won't pigeonhole it into one corner.
No,
There's a
it's
multitude of different things, right? The waste
yeah,
funding. Look at the funding for schools. They take the funding and they build stadiums. You should be
yeah,
not spending that. That's another waste factor.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
so many different areas, right?
But you
And
know,
then
but even with that, I
that's
mean,
what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
know with the stadium, right? Because like I'm from Chicago, and so like
Yeah.
Chicago Bears are going through this now. So you
Well, I'm
know,
not talking. I'm not talking about like professional. I'm talking about the schools themselves. Instead
right, right.
of putting it towards education for the children and paying the teachers,
All
what
you
they're
talking
doing
about,
is they're
yeah,
building. That's what
the
I'm saying.
Apple. Gotcha. Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay, the
Yeah,
athletic.
that's
Okay,
what I
I
mean.
got you. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
yeah,
as far as the tariff thing, what you were saying, I want to go to that. What you're saying makes sense because Business 101 tells you it always goes onto the consumer,
right. So
right?
what I'm,
It always
yeah.
goes onto the consumer.
Well, not. I mean, I'm saying it's a combination. I'm not saying it's
From a
just
business
every.
perspective, if
Right,
you
right.
have a rising cost for
Yeah,
whatever, whether it's you have to have you have to pull so many permits and inspections, and you have to use this amount of building. I
right,
use because I'm from the Massachusetts area, so
right.
Massachusetts has a very strict building code. So the cost due to the building code with the green energy type style, the
Yeah,
cost of the materials has gone up. So what happens is the cost of the home goes up naturally
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
they have to cover the cost to foot the bill, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have herds raiders come in. You have to have added insulation, mechanical ventilation, all this type
Yeah,
of stuff because you have to make this home so tight due to the building code for every town and city in Massachusetts. And some are worse than others.
yeah,
So when you up the cost of business to build a home, this is why I'm saying I agree with you. Then that price falls onto the consumer because now instead of it being 300,000, now it's 400,000.
yeah. And I think that's. I mean, my how I view it is that like I think that's the next bubble is like the housing. It's just like well, because interest rates are high and we have a shortage of homes, and so
Correct.
that's shortage. That's going to push the prices up. And so like where
Well,
I live.
also,
And where I live,
go ahead.
so Ham is in Indianapolis. I'm like an hour away from
Yeah,
Indianapolis, and I live in like a college town, right? So like
yeah, which is expensive.
really
Yep.
expensive here, and
Yeah, college towns are way more expensive. Yep.
yeah, yeah, really expensive. Like I understand they say we live in a low tax state, but I mean that's not for the entire state. There's pretty
Correct.
high here.
There's pockets. There's pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can use the
Yeah,
same thing as Massachusetts. You look at Boston, it's going to cost you no
it costs you.
less
Yeah.
than $1 million to buy a home,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if you go to Western Massachusetts, you can still get houses for 300,000. It
Right.
really
Right.
it varies, right? The
Mm-hmm.
closer you get to
Yeah.
cities and ways of easily accessible things in
Hey,
colleges, like you
hey,
mentioned,
hey,
the
guys.
national hookup.
I gotta, yeah, I gotta get ready to close out, guys. This delivery right here gonna take a while because nobody's answering the phone in the dispatch office, and I don't want to just leave the live up like that. So, yeah, I'm about to go ahead and close out. Hey, if you don't mind, brother Jeremy, take us out in prayer, man. And then I'll close it out.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that, man. I
DeAndre,
wish I could have continued the conversation.
it was a good conversation.
Hey, for sure,
Thank you.
for
Oh
sure,
yeah.
brother.
Hey, we could continue it next time on the talk. We still disagree about that, but we live in the
We-
same state, so I'm gonna give you a pass on it.
All right, brothers.
All right.
All right, God bless you. Yeah.
God bless you guys.
All right. Well, there we go. Thank you, Lord, for your continuous mercy and your blessings that you have given upon us. We thank you for the breath of life. We thank you for keeping us, preserving us, and guiding us in each every way of our lives. We thank you for correcting our hearts and making them right. We thank you for all the many corrections you choose to give to do for the betterment of ourselves, so we can be more pleasing unto you in your sight. We thank you, Lord, for all the people in whom you've placed in our lives to give us help. We thank you for those, and we pray that you ask that you may help them with whatever they are dealing with, and that you may turn them, if they are not following truth, to to the truth. That way they may be blessed alongside with us and know who their one true Lord is. We pray and ask, O Lord, that everybody who is striving for holiness and walking with you, that you may strengthen their feet and their eyes, their hands, and their minds, so that they may be more like you and less like themselves. We pray, Lord Jesus, that you may also look down upon all those who are in positions to help people, that you may guide their minds into the right decisions to help the people. We pray, Lord Jesus, that you may continue to feed those who are in need, those who are in dire situations, provide a way for them to find their solution. Lord Jesus, also look down upon those who are sick, that you may heal them and keep them from death. That way they may have longer life and a better chance to make the resurrection. Lord Jesus, we ask and pray that you look after each and every one of our family members, that you may strengthen them, guide them, keep them, and preserve them as well. Look down upon everybody who may hear or watch this live, and let them have a good understanding, oh Lord. And we pray and ask that you may keep us all safe this night, this day, whichever it is in their part of the world, my Lord. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was trying. I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, I'm trying to get that IAC sent over. I already texted that.
That was a
No,
good
they did not.
conversation. It's a very good
Yep.
conversation.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. All right. All right. Thanks. Thanks, Brother Jeremy.
you're welcome, brother. God bless you. Peace be.
All right.